Welcome. This is Mr. Jenkins, and this is going to be an overview for your upcoming test. The upcoming test is going to be very similar to this assignment. You're going to have a blueprint or floor plan over here, and then you're going to have instructions you need to follow over here. This is going to be a quick overview of the skills we've already practiced. I just want to make sure you guys know what you're doing for the upcoming test. And if you have any last minute questions, you need to go ahead and let me know. This assignment is to sort of help y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and have y'all do a pre-made floor plan. It may look like this, it may look something different. You kind of need to look over it, make sure, take some time, look over it. You can see there's a conference room, 2 offices, a print room. My mouse is doing something. A mechanical room, 2 restrooms. You kind of want to take a look, see what's already there that you may be able to use. So kind of do a quick overview of it. Then you want to come over and you want to see what's going on, see what the actual assignment is going to be. So let's take a look and see what we're actually going to be doing for this assignment. The office floor located to the right needs to be turned into a new building. The building can be a doctor's office or a veterinarian office. I chose these because we've most likely been in either a doctor's office or a veterinarian office. And in order to help y'all remember, I have a list. So let's take a look at that. Your new floor plan must include 1 receptionist desk, 1 waiting room, 1 doctor's office, 3 patient animal rooms, 1 male and female restroom, and 1 mechanical room. Now, the 3 patient animal rooms, if you're doing a doctor's office, it just has to be 3 patients. If you're doing veterinarian, it just has to be 3 animal rooms. Then you're going to make objects such as desks, patient beds, chairs, etc. So you can see over here how there's like random parts, like bathroom, sink, chairs. You need to also label each of these items. Now you don't necessarily need to label like this is the restroom, this is a sink, this is a chair, but you do need to label the rooms, such as like print room, office, office 2. So you'd be labeling patient room 1, patient room 2, etc. And be resourceful and add more if you have time and time permits and you want to see how far you can go with this little area here. Now that we know what we're going to be doing, let's go ahead and start. So the first thing we're going to do is sort of take a look and see what we already have. We already have a male restroom and we already have a female restroom. We also already have a mechanical room. Now that stuff is already labeled and the parts are pretty much already there. So we want to think, do we want to change this little corner up? Because, I mean, this looks like a entranceway and this looks like a pretty good waiting room. So let's sort of leave those there. But let's take a look at the rest of these. I don't think we should really keep office rooms and things like that. I'm going to be building a veterinarian clinic instead of a doctor's office because I'm familiar with that and I think it'd be kind of interesting. So the first thing we want to do is sort of get rid of any walls that we don't like and any parts. But before I do that, remember that I showed you guys a while back, the first thing we want to do is we want to save anything. Like this chair, because remember we'll need them for the receptionist area, which we may change. So the first thing we want to do is save this chair. So we need to highlight it first. So you come over here, remember the little black little arrow, and you want to select it. And there we go. Now we have it selected. And then you can hit Control C, and that pretty much copies it. And then come out to the side and paste it. And there it is, pasted. So let's go ahead and paste some more stuff. So let's go ahead and click on this and then Control C, Control Paste. And we'll go ahead and do this as well. So now that those pieces are pasted, let's go ahead and start deleting some stuff. Remember, when you want to highlight multiple objects, you can click on one and then hold Shift down. And then you can click on some more. So let's go ahead and remove all the text first. Now remember, we're keeping the mechanical room and the male restroom and female restroom, so we're not going to highlight that text. And then you want to highlight it and hit delete, and then it pretty much goes away. Now remember, when you're highlighting objects, it's a little bit trickier. So another way we can do it is come over here and get the eraser, and we can click on individual lines if we wanted to do it that way. But you can see how this sort of takes a little while, really. So a faster way would be to highlight it, Shift, well, there you go, let's do that. And then you can hit delete. Now remember, it did this part, right? It just deleted all the way through the floor, and we don't want that. So if you make a mistake, remember you can hit Control and then Z, and it'll basically appear back up. So let's try just deleting these. And there you go, it just deleted that. So for certain items, we want to use the eraser. So maybe for this over here, let's use the eraser. And that's how you pretty much clear out one room. So now we can start erasing the rest of it. And there's that room, so then you can come out and zoom back in. How I'm doing this so quickly is, remember on the mouse, the wheel in the middle lets you zoom out and in pretty easily. So here I am, and remember you can zoom all the way in, and you see the gap? That pretty much lets me get pretty accurate. That comes into play later when we put lines down. This part is pretty tedious, but remember we need to do it, so in order to make it fast, you can go like that and then hit delete. Another way to move around is, remember to use this hand, and we can sort of pan. So let's go ahead and delete this area. So let's go ahead and delete the table first, because we know it might delete it all the way to the floor. And since we have the eraser out, we'll go ahead and delete this. And then we can we don't want to do that. Remember if you see all the dots, it highlights the entire thing, so we don't want that. So we may have to do this little bit by little bit. And that pretty much works that fast. And then we can zoom back out, pan around, and now we have all the objects. We're going to leave this one for now because it's a receptionist desk and we already have to add a receptionist desk. So why not leave it? Now that we have most of it pretty much erased, let's start thinking about how we want to do this. So let's look over at our list. We need one receptionist desk. Well, we sort of already got that, so that's all good. We need one waiting room. Okay, let's work on the waiting room. Now, if we use this as our entrance, this can be our waiting room, which is good because here's some restrooms. So let's build a wall. Let's see, if this is going to be our waiting room, we're going to need a couple chairs for people to sit, and we're going to need a wall that kind of blocks, and then, you know, the animals can come in the back. So let's do that. So we sort of already have this nice little hook here, this sort of diagonal wall, and we can kind of make it stretch out. And by how we do that is we get the pencil, and then we kind of want to come down and we want to click on this corner. Okay, we want to zoom out, and for this part right now, we're just going to make it come all the way out. Okay, so that is the start of our wall. And then we are going to delete these doors because I'm not going to have that part for my vet clinic, and I don't think I might have this part either, so we can go ahead and delete that as well. Now you saw how it started to do that, how it basically took the color away from this. It means it's no longer a closed off edge. So we're going to replace that, and what we're going to do instead is draw a line from here to here, then hit escape, and then when we delete these lines, it's going to leave that gray color. And the reason I'm doing that is because I like this area right here, but I don't like these two rooms, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these rooms as well. So we need to take a line here and here again, and here, here, and here, and here. Now that we've closed off those edges, we can just grab the eraser again and start this tedious part of just erasing. Never thought you'd have to erase this much. When you guys actually do this part, this should go pretty quick because you're not having to explain it. Okay. Now when we zoom out, we have our waiting room / receptionist / restroom area. We're going to have this wall. We're going to have this little room right here. And then we're going to have this little area right here. We're going to leave the mechanical room where it's at because it's already built for us, so that's kind of nice. So we need to work on one doctor office, 3 patient rooms, and we already have these, and then on objects. So let's work on the, well, let's finish the waiting room. So let's click on the line, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to come close to this side. What we're going to do is we're going to draw, these are 4-inch walls. They're sort of small, but that's okay for this part. So we're going to make a straight line. We're going to type in 4 and then inch. So if you look down on the bottom right, sort of down here, you can see how it's just changing it now. But you want to kind of come out and then write 4 inch. Okay, and then that's going to make that 4-inch line. You can tell because here it's on edge, but it's red, and then all of a sudden you see a green circle. And then we're going to continue that line all the way down to, we'll go past it, and I'll show you why we're doing that here in a second. Because then all we have to do is connect this line, and we got to cross it, and then we can delete, 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 and all of a sudden, look, we have a nice wall. Isn't that fancy? So, but now we're also missing a door. You need a door to go into the back, because right now they're just coming in and they're chit-chatting with the receptionist and using the bathroom, but they can't actually get to the rooms. Now we saved the door over here, if y'all remember that. So you can copy, control, and then paste that. And we want this door to swing the other direction. So how do we do that? Because right now this door is facing to the right and we want it to face to the left. We do that by coming up here and we make sure it's highlighted so you'll see the blue dots. And then you're going to come to the rotate. It's the two circles that look like they're constantly going around and around. And that's going to bring you this. So then you kind of click on it and you can see how you can kind of rotate that protractor and sort of rotate to what you want. You just want to double click on it and then you can slowly rotate it at the angle you want it. And then boom. And then you can select it, deselect it, and that's sort of what we're doing. And then you can move it. And then we want it right here. Well, actually put it right there. Put it right there. And then look. You can kind of see how it sort of already made an opening for us, so that kind of works out. Except it's not all the way touching. So let's hit Control Z. And let's move it all the way. Let's see. It's on edge to edge. And there you go. So now we have a doorway leading through, similar to here. And then you can come and you can delete that line and that line. And now you have a doorway coming through that's going to open up. So here's your door. It's going to swing down and sort of opens up. That way your little doggies can come back here. So now that we have that, we need to work on the patient room. So now we're going to work on our 3 patient rooms. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a wall by this door because we're going to put our patient rooms over here. So let's just make a line on the edge. We're going to have it, yeah, we'll have it come out to about here, and we're just going to draw it straight down. And then we're going to, we can actually just go to the center here, go through, type 4, inch again, boom, and then we can have it go down. This is just another quick way you can do this. Once again, it'll take some deleting, but it's okay. So 4, 4, alright, and then you can, there you go. These rooms are going to be identical, so we're just going to make a huge area, and then we're going to place 3 of them. Copy and paste is our friend. I'm going to delete those to finish off the wall here. Okay. And then here we go. Now that we have this huge block, we're going to add 3 doors, sort of almost perfectly down, except you're going to remember you can't block this door. So now we're going to add the rooms. let's see here. We're going to measure, see how long this is. You do that by coming over to the tape measure. And then we're going to click on this edge and go all the way to this edge. And then remember, it's going to appear on the right. So it's about, we'll say 25 feet, make it easy. So 25 feet. Now, with it being 25 feet, let's think. We need 3 rooms in 25 feet, and we want to, pretty much, we can't do anything in this area because this door opens up. So why don't we go ahead and cut this part off. So we can start here, and we can pretty much cut. And we can actually go ahead and start there and pretty much cut down as well. Because then we can take our eraser, erase this line, erase this line, erase, okay, erase too much. I need to zoom in a little more. Zoom in, we can erase this one, this one, this one, and then that one to basically make the color go. Now you see how we just have this random hallway here. This random hallway we could use for storage later. So now we have 2 rooms right here. So let's go ahead and take our line, and we're going to run it down this edge until we see a blue. Okay, that's the midpoint. That's pretty much halfway in between these 2 lines. And we like halfway because we need 3 identical rooms. So we're going to go ahead and draw that down. And then to make sure that it's fair, and we need a 2-inch wall on each side, we're going to go up about 2 inches. And that should have drawn a line there. It did. And then you're going to hit escape. And you're going to draw another one going down this time, 2 inches. But then you need to take that line and connect it. And connect it there. And then you need to delete this one, this one, and that. And then you can also delete this one just to make it look good. Now what that did is it made 2 identicals. And the reason we went 2 on one side and 2 on the other side is because we needed a 4. And if we would have went 4 one direction, this room would have been smaller. Well, actually, this room would have been smaller than this room. Now you can see that this room has a window and this room does not. That's okay. So we basically just built a storage area and we built 2 of the rooms. Now we just need to add doors to those rooms. And luckily we already have a door right here. So let's go ahead and highlight it, and then we're going to copy and paste. And we're going to put it right here. And remember, we want to rotate it so that it's going into the room and not out. And so we need to do rotate, and we can click on the edge, and then double click again, and rotate. And then we can go ahead and copy, zoom out, and paste. And now we have one for this area as well. And then we can move it. And let's go ahead and put it okay, we're going to click on the midpoint, and then we're going to click on edge, and that should have put it on the edge. And okay, now you saw how I moved it and these walls moved. Remember, once it's on an edge, it sort of locks it in place, and so if you do anything like that, it's going to move the whole wall and even into other rooms. So you can either hit Control Z, or you can come up to Edit and then do Undo Move, and it'll correct it. Now we want to unhighlight it, come down here, and we want to delete. Lots and lots of deleting. And that's pretty much the easiest way to make a door. And then you need to do the exact same thing over here. So we need to highlight it. Now let's say, because this door is on this side, we want to put this door on this side so the doors are kind of close instead of having the door all the way down here. The best way to do that is to just simply redraw it, considering the fact that there isn't a flip. We could rotate it a bunch of times, but that's not going to do what we want. So the best way would be to draw it. The first thing you want to do when you're going to draw is you're going to come up to the tape measure and you're going to measure it. So endpoint to endpoint, so 2 feet 6 inches. And then you want to, what I like to do is I like to make it go out this way so I can sort of see what's going on. and then we're going to make a line go down, and it's going to be 2 feet 6 inches, and then you can see the line, and then you can pretty much make it go down as well. And then you sort of know where you need to delete, and that's going to make your opening. And then how wide is the actual door part? So we need to take the tape measure again, go from endpoint to endpoint, and it's 3 feet 3 inches. Okay. So then you come down here and go this way. So 3 feet by 3 inches. So now we need to add the arc, and the best way to do that, the arc basically shows which way it's going to open. You can see it right here, but we need to add it from here to here. So we're going to come up and we're going to click on that. We're going to click down here on endpoint, and then we're going to click up here, and then, well, okay. So let me show you the differences. So the arc that it's selected right now would make a full one. So if I were to click, it would make a full polygon, and that's not what we want. So we're going to hit Control Z. We're going to come up here to this little down arrow, and we want the simple 2-point arc. So edge, edge, and then it'll sort of come out. You can make it go all the way out like that, but that's not what we want. We want just a nice, clear arch. And so, bada bing, bada boom. And that pretty much makes it look nice. And there we go. And then you can simply delete that one. And then when you zoom out, you have an entranceway in through this, an entranceway in through this, which the door opens this way and the door opens this way. So those are 2 of the rooms. And now we need to focus on one more. Now we need one more room. And if we look, we have 1, 2, and then we have this extra room that we didn't delete earlier. Now if we wanted to, we could just make that one the 3rd room, and it'd be slightly bigger, which is fine, because it could be for bigger animals, say like bigger dogs or whatnot. So we could make those 3 our patient rooms. And so let's see what we have on the list. We have receptionist desk, check. Waiting room, check. Doctor's office, still need that one. 3 patient rooms, check, check, check. Okay, so we need a doctor's office. Now let's see where we could put a doctor's office. It'd be too small here. Here's where a bunch of traffic is going to happen, so that'd be a bad part. Then we have this huge area down here where we could simply add a doctor's office. And it looks like this could be pretty easy, considering we could just make a line go from here to here. So we kind of need to watch out for this window, because you don't want a wall going straight through a window. But if we start here and we go all the way down, there's no window. And then we can go to the end point, and we can go 4 inches again, and have it come out, and have it come out, and then simply delete. And nope. Control Z. Control Z is your friend. A lot of other programs, not just SketchUp. And there you go. Now we have a doctor's office, except once again we need a door. So we can pan out, and this time we can simply select this, Control, copy, and we can simply put it right there. Go to move again, go to midpoint, go to on edge, and then simply delete again. And now we have a nice little doctor's office. So let's go back out and make sure we have a checklist. Yep, waiting room, yep, doctor's office, patient room, male-female restroom, mechanical room, objects. Alright, so now we can start putting in the objects. And this is where it kind of gets a little fun. So the first thing we want to do is the waiting room, because it's the first thing on the list other than the receptionist desk. Since we already have a chair, let's go ahead and highlight the chair, because chairs are in waiting rooms. We're going to Control copy again. Lots of copying and pasting. And let's go ahead and set it about right here. Since we're going to have to rotate it, because you don't want the chair facing the door. And then we can just click anywhere, double click. Kind of want it facing that way. And let's just leave it like that for a minute, and then we're going to exit out. While it's still selected, we're going to Control copy again. That way they're all facing the same direction. And we're going to put that one sort of right there. Then we're going to come back to the arrow, and we're going to highlight them both. That way, when we control copy, we're going to get 2. And that's just a real quick way to basically make 4. But then you can also do it again. You want to make sure you highlight 3 of them, control copy, and we can, there. That seems like a pretty big waiting room. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7 chairs. It's pretty good. But we also need a chair in the office. So let's put that. But actually in this case, let's put it on this side. And then we're going to highlight one of them. Control copy, and we'll put it on this side. And then let's highlight this one again. Delete it. And then we will flip this. So, and there we go. So, let's add that. Let's go ahead and, nope. Let's go ahead and add some chairs to the waiting room. I mean, not the waiting rooms, but the patient rooms. We will put, this is a pretty big room, so let's add one here. And then we can add one here, and we'll go ahead and rotate it. Okay. And we'll go ahead and copy and paste those, because we are going to go ahead and add them here. We'll add one here, and then we'll add another one right here. And we're going to do the same thing for the other room. Boom. Now that we've done that, we can pan out and zoom out, and we got a lot of chairs going on. So then let's make this little object, we can make that the patient tables, where the animals and stuff would sit. And we'll control copy, and we can go ahead and have it come out. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And that's where the animals will kind of look at, so the doctor can come around and work on them. And then this side, why don't we put 2? So let's rotate it. Since this is a pretty big room, we could do 2. And we'll go edge to edge, and then, okay, we don't want that one, so let's go ahead and click on this one, control copy, and edge to edge. And now there's two rooms, or not rooms, but operating tables, or just working tables. So, and then we need a desk for our doctor here. And I think we should, what we could do is we could just take this desk by clicking on that, hitting shift, and then clicking here, copying it, pasting it, and putting it right, well, that'll work. And we will need to move the chairs to basically fit underneath, or what we could do is we could complete the table by drawing a line there and there, and then taking our handy dandy fancy eraser and doing what we've been doing pretty much the entire time, erasing. I'm going to make sure you get them all. And there we go. And then we can go ahead and add some bookcases. And how we're going to do bookcases, we're going to make simple rectangles. So you're going to come up to shapes and click on a rectangle, and on the edge, and then sort of just make some bookcases. Like she'll have one there, and then she'll have a tiny little one here, and then we can come out, and there can be something sort of along the lines of here. Maybe another one here. And let's do the same thing here. We can add one sort of here. Add one sort of here. Let's do the same thing. Well, because it needs to be identical, we need to select these. Okay, so now let's see. We want to select these. Well, remember to hold down shift when you select. Copy, paste. And we can add them about there. So, and over here, sit down. Okay. So let's see. We can add another little square right here. Just for, something. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. And this is a storage area, so we can add some squares in here as well. Just remember, don't cover up the window. But you can put it on this side. Yeah, that's where like medicines and whatnot can be. Alright, so now let's take a look at our assignment list again. Now that this looks pretty habitable, like it's a working little office space. So, receptionist desk, waiting room, doctor's office, check, check, check. Alright, looks like we're pretty good to go. So now we can start labeling. Remember, you're going to be labeling the rooms, not necessarily the objects. So we don't need these. We can go ahead and highlight those and delete them, since now we have them inside. Now, if you remember, in order to get to the text, you have to come up to the tools. Then you scroll all the way down to 3D text. When you do that, this text box opens up. You can change the fonts to pretty much just about anything that you see in Microsoft Word and whatnot. You can align it differently. I like to leave it aligned to the left. You can change the height, which 10 is about good, and I'll show you how to make it better. You can bold it, italic it, or bold italic. Remember, we went over this. But for now, we're just going to keep it regular Times New Roman. And we're going to type patient animal room 1, please. And we're just going to place it there. And then we have to go back up to Tools, 3D Text. Do it again. Okay, let's do that. 2. Place it, and we'll place it there. And then you need one more. So we'll go back up to Tools, 3D Text, type it again. Make sure you spell it right. Patient, animal, and 3. Okay. And then we need waiting room. So 3D text. Okay. Waiting room. Place. Place. And we can even rotate it. Bam. And then we can move it so that it looks nice. Okay, and then we need one more. Doctor's office. And put it right there. Okay, I went ahead and rotated it so that it looks better. And then we can click out and we can zoom out, and looks like everything is labeled. We have receptionist desk, waiting room, doctor's office, 3 patient animal rooms, mechanical, and 2 restrooms. Okay, and then we just want to basically say that this is a veterinarian clinic. So we need one more 3D text. So this one I'm just going to place out here until I rotate it. And then I'm going to move it right there. and we can actually enlarge it. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to click on it, and we're going to go to scale, and then we're going to pick on a corner, and we're going to make it larger. And there you go. And let's leave it like that. And then there we go. We have our veterinarian office. And remember, this is an overview of what we've been learning, so this could have been pretty boring to you, and it could have been helpful to you. Remember, the test is going to be something like this. Your speed really determines. You'll have the entire class time to get it finished. Remember, like I used in this video, to keep some of the resources like the chairs, tables, whatnot. That's going to make it a lot easier for you. We don't have to worry about dimensions in this test. We're just basically, I want to make sure you can draw lines, do some basic measuring, and be able to write text. For our larger projects, we're going to be actually putting in the dimensions and making more accurate walls. You're going to be making an entire blueprint from scratch, so you won't have any of this. You're basically going to have a clean slate, and you're just going to have instructions. So remember that. If you have any questions, just let me know. You can go on Google Classroom and text them to me, or you can just let me know in class. But this is pretty much the demo for this short little assignment. It's not really short, it's about 40 minutes long, but remember, it's going to be a lot faster for you when you do it because you're not going to have to explain. So I look forward to seeing y'all's different configurations. Alright, bye.